Okay, we're at David's house, and this is part of his sign collection. And go ahead, tell me about some of the stuff you got here.
So these are some of my special, well, I mean, not a lot of my signs are special, but these have really unusual meaning to me. This Triangle Gordon, for example, cord tires, early sign, painted metal. You can tell by this age of this based on the size of that tire, but it's probably one of only 3 known to exist in the world. We move over here to this Chevrolet neon clock up here, sales and service. That's from the 1930s. Imagine what that would have looked like in a dealership in the 1930s. Unbelievable clock. Next to that one is this Goodyear. This is a schmaltz sign. Schmaltz means it's made out of crushed sand and glass. It was a building material used in the late 1800s, and then they decided they could make signs with it. This sign probably dates back to about 1908, 1910. But look at the condition on that. Unbelievable piece. Next to that, we have a Chevrolet Time neon clock. This is a very special clock to me because it is an Idaho clock. It's from a dealership that was in Gooding, Idaho. Imagine a dealership in the 1940s in downtown Gooding. It was called Leo Rice Motor Company. And so that one is dated about, I think it's 1946 on that clock. This Vino gas pump, of course, everybody loves Sinclair. And so I picked this up from an auction here in Texas not too long ago. Been after one of those for a while. Over here, Francisco heaters, painted metal from the 1920s. What I love about this piece not only is the condition, but the details. It's all about the details in this piece. This one's valued at about $8,000. I think it was tacked at 8.25 or 8.5. Fairly special sign. Next to that is a Chevrolet Genuine Parts, another schmaltz sign. This one probably from the 1920s. Once again, crushed glass and sand that they did paint on. Special piece. And next to it is a Hyvis motor oil sign, probably from the 1930s is my guess. To your left would be this National Batteries. National Batteries, that's new old stock. I paid big money for this because of condition. That's like right out of the wrapper new. I don't think it had ever been used before. Above that, you'll see a little Chevrolet Chevelle sign up here. This would have been in the dealership back in the 1960s as an advertisement piece. Another special little piece in my office.
And then, of course, your little diorama.
Yeah, my little diorama with a few of my looks of my cars I've had over the years too. I've had that Porsche Turbo, the Corvette, of course, I had as well, and even the GT I had.
And an award for a best of show.
Yeah, that was my '62 Corvette. That was a showstopper, and it took a lot of awards. It was a beautiful car.
Just a couple of signs in the garage here.
Yeah, just a few. You can see it's an addiction. For me, it was cars for many, many years. Probably owned about 400 automobiles, and over the past 7 or 8 years, I've been getting into vintage signs. I just love the history behind these pieces, imagining what they would have looked like 80, 90, 100 years ago in these buildings, service stations, and repair shops and stuff.
Okay, what do you want to tell me about first?
Well, there's so much to go over. Obviously, if you start over here in the corner, I'm a big Hood fan. I love the Hood guy. This is a Hood Tires, very popular tire back in the early 20s, early 30s. I love the graphics on this stuff. You'll see I have a Hood Tire porcelain die cut sign there. Next to it, a couple verticals and some horizontals. I never get enough of my Hood stuff. Next to that, you'll see a bunch of flange signs. I like these signs because they stick out. They don't take up a lot of space, and they just kind of just break up the look of everything. So I do like my flange signs as well. We move over here behind you. Some special pieces on this wall. One of my favorites is this Michelin Tires and Tubes. This is a porcelain sign, all original wood frame from the 1930s. Of course, we find some more Fisk over here. I love my Fisk stuff. Fisk and Hood are my 2 favorite tire manufacturers back in the day. The Fisk in the blue is porcelain. The burgundy one is painted metal. Both signs from the 40s. Just a really, really, really neat piece. I'm all about graphics. I just love how they did the advertising back in the day.
They're beautiful signs.
Yep. Above us, another small sign. This is Javelin. Javelin was pre-Texaco. So Texaco eventually bought out Javelin, but that's an early schmaltz sign again. Very special piece. I guess this is my latest piece. This is a Shell credit card sign from the 1930s, double-sided porcelain hanger. This is the third one I've ever seen in any auction pop up. So again, a very tough to find sign.
Who knew Shell took credit cards back in the 30s?
In the day, right? Exactly. Diamond tires, love diamond tire stuff. Another graphically appealing sign. I just really like their tires as well, and the way they did their advertising.
Yeah.
Another fist sign over here. Really love my National batteries. That's painted metal, but it has the patina. It just has that look. Next to it is two of my favorites. These are weed chains, early pieces, 1920s, 1910. They were gas pricers back in the day, but I just love the graphics on both those. I wish I had the third one. There's 3 in the set.
Notice the gas prices in there.
Yeah,
18
exactly.
cents and 22 cents.
Right. Wish we could have that today. Next to that, of course, my Ajax alcohol antifreeze, one of my favorite pieces with the owl in it.
And a working thermometer, correct?
And the working thermometer, correct. I love my tin tackers, these tire tin tackers, the Goodyear tires, both those, the diamond tires, which actually I got. It's an Ohio company, but I obtained this from a collector in Canada. So my signs come from all over the place. Some special pieces. Of course, I love my Fisk clock. Find another one. That's a Fisk Hesitator neon clock. Early piece. I don't think I've ever seen another one. Next to it, I've never seen one of these. This has been restored, that Willard storage battery clock. Again, a working clock, both of them. All of my clocks in here are actually working. Next to it is what we call an action neon flipper clock. This clock is actually available for sale. It's probably from the 50s. It has 12 rotating cards that rotate every 5 seconds, so you get all the advertisements over the course of a minute. And they used to put these in retail establishments or restaurants, and they would get paid to advertise these companies in their locations. Just a neat piece. This one, if I was to sell it, this would probably be $1,600 plus shipping. I'd hate to ship it. I'd rather do a handoff on it. Hate for it to happen to that neon. Fisk, another Fisk sign. This one is a crushed sand and glass. It had a couple repairs to it back in the day, but I didn't care. This is such a hard piece to get. You know, I ended up getting it. I just can't. I couldn't afford a nice one. They would go for $20,000, $30,000. Diamond tires, old patina. Again, just has that look, that aged appearance. It is painted metal, but I just love the look of it. I've always been about my 30 inches. 30 inches are real popular right now. You'll notice the globe and the polar ring. Throughout the garage, you'll see these 30 inches. Everybody likes them because they don't take up a lot of space and they're not terribly pricey. But a couple of fun pieces there. Of course, my Loco Pep up here. This is a fairly recent piece. I had Ben Stevens do the hanger on it. I love hanging signs. That's a special piece, probably from the 20s or 30s. I mean, the license number is 204, so yeah, it's an early sign. So that gives you kind of an idea and feel for some of my pieces. I'm all about the history. I'm all about it telling stories. You know, I just, again, imagine what these pieces would have looked like back in the day, 80, 90, 100 years ago. So,
and back then they were just a tool.
They had no idea these things would be worth anything. No. Can you imagine hoarding all these things back in the day?
Not a clue as to what people would be doing to get.
No, I mean, like I said, I've seen signs go for as much as $1 million before, so.
That's pretty crazy. And you have this cool Vidal sign over here.
Yeah, I love that. You notice it's dated 1930 at the bottom. What I like about it is the way that it patinaed, you know, with the cracked paint. Again, just a really special piece. I've had a lot of people trying to buy that one from me and just not ready to let that one go. People also love my mobile tires next to it with the Pegasus horse. A lot of people have been trying to snap that one up from me. I like it. It's got some condition to it. It's got some holes here and there, but I love the way the paint is held up so well.
Yeah, and they used to actually have those flying horses at the gas station up on the signs.
Back in the day they did.
And it was a cool thing.
Yeah.
That's for sure. You have some very, very cool
So that would have been
Artwork here.
this small pump on this line. This would have been a gas, basically they called it a gas void. So these were pumps that they used on the farms to fill up all their equipment and stuff. So it was a pretty cool idea. So basically called a gas void.
And Galena, Super Galena.
Galena, super rare sign. Don't see those pop up. I paid a premium for that one as well. A couple of nice porcelain signs there, that Goodrich Silver Towns. This one a little bit earlier. Both of them are early pieces. I would put this one probably 1920s. This one, the Goodrich tires. I would probably put this one the upper pick probably in the 1930s. But great porcelain. You can swim in that porcelain. Look how deep that looks.
It's beautiful.
Just amazing. Again, for just how it's held up.
And for young folks who don't know, ethyl used to be premium gasoline.
Right. Yeah, anything you can find ethyl on signs are worth some good money. Because they're early pieces.
Hastings piston ring sign.
Yeah, again, I love the graphics on that. Stated 1956, I believe, 55. Just again, all about the graphics. Balkan, you'll never see another one of those again.
Nope.
I mean, many of these pieces you will not find another one. That's what I like about it, is the rarity of this stuff. This is another one over here. We talked about Pullman tires. Ingram Richardson, you know this is an early porcelain piece. I think I've only seen 2 ever even available on the market. So.
This is the one where
Yep,
you've seen
Pullman tires. Yep.
only 2 of them.
Super early piece. I very seldom when you see those pop up.
And so now, occasionally you'll sell these signs.
Yeah, some of these signs are available. I do buy and sell. I've been known to sell an entire collection before, but typically I would sell individual pieces, and I can ship most of the smaller stuff anywhere. So I prefer handoffs for locals, but I can ship up to about 5-6 foot signs.
And if somebody wanted to buy one of these signs from you, where would they find?
Well, you know, it would be locally on Marketplace is how I advertise. Really, it's the only way I advertise.
So
or
Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
And if they do a search specifically in the Boise area, it'll pop up there, obviously.
Very cool signs that you've got here. And there's
Yeah, look at that knife, look at that hand with the black, yeah, that's just, again, we're talking 1920s. You just, like I said, each of these pieces is just super unusual.
So we're probably gonna have the antique collector guys calling you up pretty soon, right?
Hey, I love showing my pieces as well, so it's not about just selling, it's just about them enjoying them as much as I enjoy them. You probably won't see a whole lot of collections quite like this here locally.
Nope.
So.
And what about this McCord?
McCord thermometer, another very cool piece, probably from the 1930s. Right next to it is really a cool piece, that Dayton tires. So that would have had literature in it. That's painted metal. It was tacked at 8.5. That piece was valued at $700, just to give you an idea.
You have quite the collection here.
Yeah.
Ah, ladies' room.
Yeah.
Ain't going anywhere for that.
Men's and ladies. Yep. I just picked up another one too, a Sunoco, which is really cool. This is a piece I just have repaired here because it wasn't working, but that's a Quaker State neon clock. Again, early piece, but it just has the look again. Look how quiet that thing is.
Yep.
So.
And quite the patina on that too. And then you got the
Super Pyro, they are impossible to get. They go for a ton of money. This one has a ton of touch-ups, but it's obviously was an original Super Pyro sign because it's recessed, and so you can see the outline of it in the back. So, but tons of touch-up, but I just love the graphics on it. Several people have tried it and buy it. That's one that I'm really not partial.
You're just not getting rid of that one yet.
No, this was kind of a neat one. This Loopster came out of Pocatello, Idaho. The guy had restored it, and I drove out to Pocatello to buy it because I really liked the look of it.
It's got a good look.
Yeah, he did a really nice job.
He did a good job restoring it. No question. and then your American brake block.
Yep, this one's available. It takes up a lot of real estate. It's an early piece. You normally don't see American brake block signs of this size. This is a big piece. Most of them were chalkboards back in the day. And this piece would be available. I'd probably let this one go for probably $1,000 plus shipping. Shipping, you'd be looking at about probably $75 for me to ship it. Yeah, special piece, neat piece. I've never seen this version before.
It's very cool.
Yep. Notice the dog's name is Stopper. What a cool idea for a brake company.
And then, of course, we'll finish up with a whole bunch of awards for your cars.
This is just a handful. I've thrown out so many trophies. I didn't have room for everything. But yeah, I've had some great cars, and they've been pretty well represented at the shows.
All right. Well, David, thank you very much for sharing your collection.
I'm glad you got over here.
Yeah.
Always fun talking about my signs.
Yeah, and you have some great ones. There's no question about it.
It's a lot of fun.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for
We're talking about some for sale.
Well, this one's new old stock. I'm not sure. If I was to sell the Welch sign, it'd probably be about $1,100 for me to sell the Welch. Again, it's all about condition. This Stay Full Texaco sign, which I believe was dated 1937, if I'm not correct. This one would be $1,650 if I was to sell this piece, but I love the graphics with the service guy and everything. And this one next to it, one of my favorite marketing companies back in the day was Thomas Kemper. This is waxed cardboard on metal, meaning it has a metal frame around it, which they put an old frame over that. But early piece, probably 1920s, 1930s. You know, I'm into this quite a bit of money. I'd probably sell it, but you'd be looking at about $1,000 for me to sell this piece here, just because of what I paid for it.
And it's a cool sign also.
It is, and I like how they did the frame.
Yeah, it's a very cool.
Yeah, you can see the metal. That's the original metal frame that goes around it.
Let's get a close up on this Fisk.
That Fisk hesitator. Okay. Take a look at this one.
That's even better.
Yeah.
They all are. You have an excellent collection, and I appreciate you sharing it with me.
I'm glad you got over here.